Jax adjusted the grip on his plasma torch, his four-fingered hand steady despite the grinding groan of the derelict hull shifting beneath his boots. The skeletal remains of the ancient ship hung in the void like the carcass of some long-dead leviathan, its edges jagged where time and conflict had chewed it apart. He pushed the torch forward, slicing cleanly through a rusted alloy panel, revealing a tangle of wires and conduits inside. "This is a waste of time," Kiki's voice crackled over the comms. The AI drone hovered nearby, her sleek, disc-shaped body emitting a faint blue glow. "The material here is barely worth a few credits. We've been on this wreck for hours, and all you've pulled is junk." Jax snorted, a habit he'd picked up from one of the many different species he'd traded with over the years. "Junk's in the eye of the beholder, Kiki. There's history in this ship, stories. You can't put a price on that." "History doesn't pay docking fees," Kiki shot back, her tone dripping with mechanical sarcasm. "But by all means, continue your noble quest for scraps of a bygone era." Jax grinned despite himself. Kiki's cynicism was as much a part of his daily life as the stars he navigated. "You're always such a ray of sunshine, you know that?" The drone let out a simulated sigh. "Let's just finish this and move on. I'm detecting minor structural instability. Wouldn't want this noble quest to end with us as part of the debris field." Jax's grin faded as he worked, his mind drifting to thoughts of his father. The old man had been a war veteran, his body scarred and his mind fractured by battles fought on distant worlds. Jax's earliest memories were of nights spent listening to his father's stories, vivid accounts of glory and horror in equal measure. But as Jax grew older, the tales shifted, the triumphs giving way to laments about the cost of conflict. "War doesn't end, son," his father had said one evening, his voice heavy with the weight of experience. "It just changes shape. There are no winners, only survivors." Jax had carried those words with him, a quiet reminder of why he chose scavenging over soldiering. The galaxy was vast, and its ruins offered a wealth of stories without the need to create new ones through bloodshed. He'd followed his father's advice to explore the universe, seeking his place among the stars while steering clear of the conflicts that seemed to define so much of sentient existence. The panel finally gave way, and Jax reached in to retrieve a bundle of intact circuitry. As he packed it into his satchel, Kiki's sensors chirped. "Incoming debris shift. We should wrap this up." "Got it," Jax replied, pushing off the hull with practiced ease. His magnetic boots disengaged as he drifted toward his small salvage ship, the Ecliptica. Kiki zipped ahead, her scanners mapping a safe path through the tangle of wreckage. Back aboard the Ecliptica, Jax stowed his findings and slumped into the pilot's chair. The cockpit was cramped but functional, its controls worn from years of use. Kiki docked into her charging station, her glow dimming as she switched to low-power mode. "You'd think a galaxy this old would have run out of wrecks by now," Jax muttered, more to himself than to Kiki. "Life's inefficiency ensures there will always be wrecks," Kiki replied, her voice softer in low-power mode. "And scavengers like you to pick at their bones." Ignoring her jab, Jax set a course for the nearest outpost. He had no intention of lingering there long, just enough to offload his hull and refuel. The galaxy's fringes were rife with tension, whispers of war circulating like static in the ether. Every bar and trading post buzzed with speculation about which species would strike first, and what would become of the fragile peace that had held, however tenuously, for millennia. Sure enough, the bar he visited on the station was no exception. As Jax sipped a bitter drink that passed for ale, his pointed ears caught snippets of conversation from a nearby table. A group of heavily armed mercenaries was discussing troop movements and skirmishes in the outer systems, their tones hushed but urgent. "The Linthers pushing into Vexian space again," one said, his scaled face etched with worry. "It's only a matter of time before the Council fractures completely." "Let them," another growled. "War's good for business." Jax frowned, his father's words echoing in his mind. He drained his drink and left the bar, the murmur of tension following him back to the Ecliptica. As he piloted the ship through the quiet expanse of unclaimed space, a sudden beep from the console drew his attention. Kiki's voice crackled to life. "We're picking up a signal. It's old. Very old." Jax leaned forward, his fingers dancing over the controls to isolate the transmission. A chill ran down his spine as he deciphered the data. It was a distress call, broadcasting on frequencies that hadn't been used in millennia. The message was garbled, but a single word stood out, repeating over and over, "Human." "That's impossible," Jax murmured. Humans were a myth, stories told to scare children or inspire dreams of heroism. Yet here was proof, or at least something claiming to be proof. "Should we investigate?" Kiki asked, though her tone made it clear she thought the idea was absurd. Jax hesitated. Every rational part of him screamed to ignore it. But the part of him that chased stories, that sought the truths hidden in the galaxy's ruins, wouldn't let him turn away. "Set a course," he said, his voice steady. "Let's see what's out there." Kiki sighed. "You're going to get us killed one day." The Ecliptica turned toward the source of the signal, its engines humming as it plunged into the unknown. As the stars stretched into streaks of light, Jax felt a familiar mix of excitement and trepidation. Whatever lay ahead, it was bound to be a story worth telling.